Good morning, this is Carsten, Victor Kilo 6, Papa Charlie Bravo, VK6 PCB, or printed circuit board. And this is just a quick video on how to program your code plug for the Ailunce HD-1 DMR radio. It's such a simple radio compared to others to program, so I thought I'll just do up a quick tutorial. So, what you see here is the CPS, the programming software that comes with the radio. I would download the latest from the website, of course. So let's get started. So the first time you open it, it will look like this with question marks. It will be in Chinese or some other language. Luckily, the language menu is in English, so it's easy enough to change. That's it, done. That's the first stumbling block. Alright. So your initial code plug, it should be from the radio itself. So turn the radio on, plug it in, and you may have to select the right COM port for your radio. I don't actually have my cable plugged in at the moment, so normally it will be COM 3. So that's what you got to do. Click OK, and then you device read. That will read the code plug. Now I don't have my radio plugged in at the moment, so I'll just open up the one that I saved originally. So when you do get your radio, read the code plug and save it somewhere, so you can always go back to it. Alright, so that's it. So if you look at your basic settings, there's your serial and your firmware version. That's the original firmware version I had. We're at 1.4.6 at the moment. Alright. So your basic settings, I generally leave these alone. There's not really much to change. If you do want to change the language setting to off, that's that English or Chinese voice that talks when you change settings. I would do that. So that's right there. And that is actually linked with voice enunciation. That's where you choose your language for that. So that's that done. Next one is your key settings. And you can set them for all different things. I think one of them I've set to power, short press, and yeah, self-explanatory, pretty easy to do. Alright. The next one is your ID settings. This is really important. This is where you have to put your DMR ID. So that's mine, and what I'll do, I'll put my call sign in there. And that's it, done. If you share this radio with your friends, you can put their their DMR IDs and call signs in as well. It's a really great function to have, especially if everyone in your radio club uses the radio. Okay, so your channel info, that's your next one. This is where you put all your repeaters. We'll put one in, if I can remember. My settings, let's just make one up anyway. So let's just start with the first one, 438.439.8625, and I think your transmit will be 433.8625. I'm just sort of guessing. You'll have to look at your repeater settings yourself. Now, another thing is, where is it? So you name VK6 RDM. Oops. There you go. Oh, VK6 RDM. There we go. Then you go to more settings here, and you'll see the channel type here, digital or analog, self-explanatory. The other settings you'll want to look at is these four here. They're probably the most important ones. If it's a repeater, you'd set it to repeater. Choose your right slot. In Perth, I've actually got we've got 3 DMR repeaters. You can use slot 1 and slot 2 depending on which talk group you want to talk to. Slot 2 is generally used for talk groups in VK in Australia. So I've actually got 3 repeaters programmed in. 3 of them are for slot 1 and 3 of them are for slot 2. So when I'm out and about, I can basically connect to any talk group I want on any slot. Alright, you pick your ID setting for that repeater and your color code. That's very important. That's basically it. Now, promiscuous, I would turn that on. You can turn it off via the radio if you want. It will basically just receive anyone using any talk group on that repeater if you like. Otherwise, you can use RX lists. Alright, now we'll go to zones. Self-explanatory. Why is that not working? Oh, okay. Add. So you've got to right click and add. Yeah. Right, there we go. So it's created a zone. You double click that and you call it like zone 1 or RPT, and then you just add in all the repeaters that you want. Excuse me. Still recovering from a cold. Then your contacts. Now there's two different types of contacts. There are priority contacts and there are address book contacts. Now the difference between the two is priority contacts are sort of like your phone book on your mobile phone. You go through and you pick someone you want to call and you call them. So it's like your dialing address book, your dialing phone book. Then you've got your address book contacts. This is the one where you download the file from a website and it's got everyone's DMR ID. It's like caller ID. If you think of it like that, that's probably the easiest way to tell the difference between them. So the address book contacts, you only update that whenever you want, every few months or weeks or whenever you want. At the moment we're at, I think, 97,800. So it's getting close to the 100,000 mark, and with the European Union data protection something or other, one of the websites has actually deleted all of the European contacts. So that will drop it to about 56,000 contacts. But the global one is 97,000 something. And what you can do, once you download the file, you can go through and you can delete stuff that you don't want in Excel, Microsoft Excel, sorry. So that's it. So that's pretty easy. So let's go to priority contacts and let's put in some talk groups that I want to talk to. So in Australia, one of them is 505. So I'm going to call that TG505. Another one is for all of our different states in Australia. We have 5051, 5052, 5053, all the way up to 5059. So I'm in VK6, so I'm going to do talk group 5056. So I can talk to people just in Western Australia. There we go. If I want to talk to the whole world, I think is talk group 1. I'll put that one in. Oops. And then there's, you can, that's it basically. So if you want to talk to someone privately, let's add a couple more. Let's say if you want to call me privately, 505-6059. You change this to a private call. There we go. So you can do a direct call to a person in private. So that's your dialing address book. Alright. Next is your address book contacts. This is the big one. So that's loading. Alright, so this has already got some in it. Yeah, just a couple of dummy datas. Probably the first 20 or 30 or whatever. So what you do, you go to a website called amateurradio.digital. Alright. You can create an account. I'd create an account, that's a good idea. You click on Digital Contacts Wizard, then you select your radio, your Ailunce HD-1, it's got all TYTMD 380s and all the others in there. Click on that, go to Next. And step 2, make sure the radio is the same. Next. there's all your contacts. So as of 9:30 AM on Wednesday the 30th of May, Western Australian Standard Time, we have 97,914. You can do all sorts of things, like you can filter out countries and stuff. So if you want to sort out, filter by countries, you can pick that one, that one, that one, and that one, and it will tell you how many contacts you've got if you're getting close to the 100,000. So say if we select all of them and we get rid of let's get rid of the United States, because I generally don't talk to a lot of people there. You can do that, and it's dropped down to 53. So if you hit the 100,000 mark, you can do that. Alright, but we won't. We will select all, we will download them, and there we go, there we download. So next step is, now this writing process is separate to writing your code plug. Alright, so you just have to remember that. So you input your contacts. This is one I downloaded. Here's one I prepared earlier, as the chefs say on the cooking shows. Alright, so that's imported all of them into the software on your computer. Right. Alright, next thing you do is you write your contacts. Make sure your radio is plugged in. Now this will take between 5 and 10 minutes. I think it sends it at 57,600 BPS or something via serial link. So do that. It's not going to work. Yeah, well, I don't have my radio plugged in. I probably shouldn't have done that. So it's not going to work, but that's what you do. You go grab yourself a cup of coffee, and that's it, done. Right. So that is separate to writing your code plug. You still have to write your code plug after you've done all this. Now your RX groups, that is the same as other DMR radios. If you only want to hear certain talk groups, that's what you do, and you can add them from your priority contacts. So say if I only want to hear that one. Oops. What have I done? So if I only want to hear talk group 1, I'll call this one TG505, and I only want to hear talk group 505. That's it, done. Okay, and DMR services, that's encryption. Encryption is not allowed on amateur radios, so let's just skip that. Alright. And that's basically it. Let's just go. So when using the radio, the biggest stumbling block I had was dialing a talk group. So once you've got that set up, you'll be in band A. You press menu, go to band A set, go into there, scroll down it to contacts, which is the second from the last, click on that, and then you scroll through and you pick your talk group that you want to communicate on, like talk group 1, 2, 3 or whatever, confirm and save, and then when you press PTT it will call on that talk group or on that contact. So that was the biggest problem I had with this radio, because I either didn't read the manual or it wasn't in the manual. So that's it basically. It's very simple compared to other DMR radios. I found it a pleasure to program, and hopefully you will too. So instead of asking someone, oh, have you got a code plug for blah blah blah, why not do it yourself? It's a lot of fun and you'll get so much out of it, and you'll learn something as well. So from me, Carsten, Victor Kilo 6 Papa Charlie Bravo 73, and good luck.